Hello, APUSHers. This is Mr. Hofer with a quick tutorial on how to take notes as you're reading. Okay, reading notes are a requirement in this class. They account for about 10% of your grade. And I'll be collecting them and grading them as you're taking a test. So they need to be finished before test time. All right, so if we have a test on Monday, August 24th, that's when your notes for chapter 1 and 2 are going to be due. Okay, so you'll turn those into me while you work on the test. I'll plug them into the grade book and then give them back to you before you leave the classroom that period. Okay, so these notes are supposed to be good for you, not just as you prepare for the chapter tests, but also something that you can look back on at the end of the term for the cumulative test, or into the next term as you start to prepare for the AP test. You don't want to underestimate the value of these things. And the bare minimum writing requirement for credit is going to be 1.5 pages. Okay, I think a lot of you will end up writing more, but for those of you that are looking for, well, what's my standard? 1.5 pages per chapter. So if you got a chapter test over 3 chapters, you're looking at 4.5 pages of notes, okay? Now, there isn't a required format for this. It's up to you how you want to do this, but I think it's important to see how big picture ideas and details fit together with the stuff that we're doing in class. So I want to recommend to you the Cornell format of taking notes, and this is an example of that using chapter 1 out of your textbook. Okay, obviously each chapter is going to be divided into different topics. Okay, the topics or the subjects are identified by red subheadings. So let me get to page 4 of chapter 1. The very first subheading is the shaping of North America. Okay, so in that left-hand column, what I would recommend doing is a summary of that particular section. Okay, kind of your assessment of what was the value of that particular subheading. Okay, and you would do that for each of the sections. Okay, in chapter 1, you can see, I think that there are 3 sections. So you'd have maybe 3 big ideas, 3 big takeaways for chapter 1 in that left-hand column. Then in the center section, the biggest section, we have notes. These are your notes. Okay, whatever you want to put in there, whether it's a point of information or a reminder to ask me a question when you get back to school the next day. That's for you to fill in as you wish. My recommendation for that would be to turn to the end of the chapter and be sure that at the very least that you're getting these key terms and key people plugged in there. Okay, if you want to subdivide your notes into section, as I have done here, and then plug those terms into each of those sections, that's great. Okay, that's one way of doing things. But what's important is that you can make meaning of it as you prepare for your tests, as you prepare for your semester cumulatives, and as you prepare for the AP test in May. Okay, that third column, you can see I would leave blank. Okay, leave it open so that you can take notes when you receive an in-class lecture. You can take notes when you have an online lecture. You can jot down ideas and notes from the activities that we're doing inside of the class together, and so that as it's appropriate, all 3 of those things, big ideas, specific information, and context, what we're doing in class, all fit together really nicely. Okay, so once again, notes are due at test time. I'll collect your notebooks. Don't tear the material out of them unless you have a 3-ring binder or something, a place where you want to store those. But be sure you're organized, be sure you're detailed, and be sure you're putting this together in a way that's going to be effective, both short and long term. Email me with questions, and we'll see you in class.